The Xiaomi 14T Pro is a powerful mid-ranger that offers exceptional value for money. I'm actually here in Berlin for the launch of the Xiaomi 14T Pro. Later this week, you'll see another video pop up onto the channel for another Xiaomi smartphone, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Plus, at the end of this video, we'll see another surprise device from Xiaomi that pairs perfectly with the new 14T Pro. You don't want to miss any of it, so let's see what we've got. It's priced at just £649 for a 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage model. That makes it significantly more affordable than similar devices from competitors such as Samsung or Google. The 14T Pro doesn't skimp on features thanks to a high-end chipset, top-tier battery life, and one of the fastest charging setups available at this price. The camera system is my personal standout feature, with Leica's expertise offering impressive colour accuracy and image quality across all three lenses. Although it's got a somewhat generic design and its low-light photography could be better, the Xiaomi 14T Pro excels in the areas that matter most for a mid-range device. Let's take a more detailed look at what you get from this phone. Stay tuned until later in the video for a camera comparison with the new iPhone 16 Pro Max. And if you like what you see, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more. The Xiaomi 14T Pro follows the latest trend in smartphone design, a flat screen with squared off edges on the sides. Its matte metal frame gives this phone a more premium feel than other mid-rangers out there, and it's a big improvement from the plastic frame of last year's 13T Pro. The frosted rear glass panel not only looks sleek, but also does a great job of resisting fingerprint smudges. While the design isn't groundbreaking by any means, and I do think it's somewhat generic, it still feels premium in the hand. Any Android fans watching may notice it's pretty similar to the regular Xiaomi 14. The textured power button on the side is a nice touch, making it easier to find by feel, which I appreciate compared to other mid-range phones I've used. The camera module is neatly designed with 4 individual lens cutouts, but only 3 of the cutouts actually have camera sensors. The 4th hides a LED flash for better overall symmetry, which is very visually pleasing, I must say. Like, I had to go and slap its name on the phone, but its branding is subtly placed in the camera cutout, adding to the phone's refined look, and the Xiaomi logo appears near the bottom and is pretty discreet. At 6.67 inches, the phone feels large but not unwieldy, and its size puts it in competition with many other big screen rivals. You can pick from several subdued colour options like Titan Grey, Black and Blue. While they're sleek to look at, they don't stand out all that much at all, unlike this year's iPhone 16. It's great to see an IP68 rating, ensuring protection from both dust and water, making the phone more durable in everyday situations. One quirky feature is the IR blaster on the top edge of the phone. You probably won't use this all that much, but it's carried over on a phone that was originally aimed at the Chinese market. While it's not essential for those with modern smart home tech, it could be useful for controlling older devices or TVs. The 6.67-inch AMOLED display around front is sharp, vibrant and offers an excellent visual experience overall. It supports a dynamic refresh rate, Full HD Plus resolution and HDR10+, making it well suited for everything from browsing to watching HDR content on Netflix. The display is protected by Gorilla Glass 5, providing durability and peace of mind against scratches. It even comes with a screen protector built in for added peace of mind. The biggest upgrade here over last year's device is the brightness, which can now reach an impressive 4000 nits in certain HDR scenarios. That makes it really easy to view content, even when you're outdoors in direct sunlight. Colour temperature and vibrancy are spot on here, giving your display a punchy yet natural look without oversaturating pictures on the screen. Xiaomi also offers extensive colour gamut controls, which is one of the best implementations I've seen on any Android smartphone, especially at this price. Despite the screen strengths, the stereo speakers are, unfortunately, a weak point. The main speaker at the bottom is much louder than the earpiece, which results in unbalanced audio, especially when you're watching videos in landscape. While the phone is loud enough, a noticeable lack of bass means you're probably better off opting for headphones when watching anything beyond quick YouTube videos. The Xiaomi 14T Pro continues to build on its predecessor's strength in photography, thanks to Leica's image processing. You can pick between authentic and vibrant modes for a different look in your photos, each with its own appeal. As I talk you through each mode, I'll pop a sample image on the screen for you to have a look at. The authentic mode provides stronger contrast and deeper shadows, while the vibrant mode boosts colours, making images more dynamic. The main camera uses a 50 megapixel light fusion sensor with an f/1.6 aperture. It lets more light into the lens, which improves low light performance, and we'll get to that later. The 50 megapixel telephoto lens offers 2.6 times zoom, making it ideal for portrait shots and detailed far away photos. While the ultra wide lens hasn't seen any major hardware upgrades from last year's device, it still performs well in good lighting conditions. For selfies, the 32 megapixel front facing camera is a solid upgrade, especially with its wider aperture, which helps in low light situations. However, this phone doesn't have a dedicated macro mode like a lot of others, which is a notable exclusion. I've also noticed the field of focus is a bit too narrow for some close-up shots. shots. That said, when the focus is right, the phone manages to produce great close-up images with a convincing background blur. Portrait modes can sometimes mess up digital depth effects, especially around hair, but on the 14T Pro, the overall results are pretty pleasing. For everyday photography, the 14T Pro delivers consistently excellent results, with colour and exposure well balanced across all three rear cameras. Night photography is better than last year with the main and telephoto lenses, while the ultralight struggles a little bit more in low light. Image sharpness gets a little bit worse when switching from optical to digital zoom, as you'd expect, but the image quality remains pretty high in most daylight conditions. The AI-powered image editor and customizable shooting modes also add a lot of flexibility, letting you save presets for different scenarios. But the AI image editor is nowhere near as advanced as the likes of Samsung and Google Suite. Let's quickly compare some shots to the iPhone 16 Pro Max's camera. On the 14T Pro, we'll be using the 50 megapixel camera without any of the Leica filters, just to keep everything fair. Photos can be pretty subjective, but I've got a few thoughts. You'll notice that things on the iPhone's camera are noticeably sharper and more detailed. Colours and details appear brighter and clearer. When you compare the two side by side, the 14T Pro's photos almost appear washed out. This goes across most of the lenses, and the 14T Pro honestly gets worse in more challenging situations. The iPhone is even more obvious when in zoom shots and low light photos. But it's not just me that thinks this. I actually ran a poll on Twitter that asked people to blindly compare the 16 Pro Max and 14T Pro's cameras. The majority of people actually preferred the iPhone's photos, which is pretty much what I expected. And while I didn't test every shot we've taken, I'm fairly certain it would carry across all of the photos. Xiaomi's HyperOS feels pretty familiar to anyone that's ever used MyUI, and it retains many of the same iOS-inspired design choices. Notifications and quick settings are still split into two pull-down menus on the left and right-hand side of the device, in classic Android style, but there's no app drawer by default. You'll have to toggle it on, which might take some getting used to. Disappointingly, the interface is littered with Xiaomi's apps and quite a bit of third-party bloatware, some of which can be frustrating with ads or attempts to further sell you content. I really wish Xiaomi had reduced the number of pre-installed apps, especially ones like AliExpress and Booking.com, which are instant deletes for me. In true 2024 smartphone fashion, there are some useful AI features scattered throughout the device. For example, you can get Google Gemini as a default voice assistant and an AI-powered voice recorder that can transcribe speech. Generative subtitles are another nice touch, and the AI-powered image editor is fun, though not as advanced as Google's or Samsung's, as I already mentioned. Xiaomi promises 4 years of Android updates and 5 years of security patches, which is decent but still falls short of what Samsung and Google offer. The Xiaomi 14T Pro is powered by MediaTek's Dimensity 9300 Plus chipset, which delivers flagship level performance inside a mid-ranger. It's not a huge leap over the previous Dimensity 9200 processor, but it's still fast enough for demanding apps, multitasking and gaming. 12GB of RAM ensures smooth multitasking, and apps load quickly without any noticeable slowdown. Gaming is also pretty snappy with no major performance issues, even with graphically intensive titles. Storage options are impressive for a device at this price, with up to 1TB available. The 5000 mAh battery easily lasts for a full day of heavy use, even with a mix of 5G, Wi-Fi, photography, gaming, personal hotspotting, Twitter scrolling and video streaming. In typical use, I finished the day with around 25% of battery left, and on lighter days I can stretch this a little closer to 40%. It's nothing to write home about, but it is more than enough for most. Charging is another area where the 14T Pro excels. The 120 wire charging and 50 watt wireless charging is pretty impressive, although you'll need to bring your own power brick. A full charge takes just over 30 minutes with the right charger, making it one of the fastest charging phones in this price range. So, the Xiaomi 14T Pro offers fantastic value for its £649 price tag, balancing high-end performance, camera quality and premium features. While the design may be a bit generic, the low-light camera performance could improve and Xiaomi has a lot of bloatware to remove, it still stands out for the Leica collaboration, fast charging, ample RAM and an impressive display. For those looking for flagship-like performance from a mid-range Android phone without the flagship price, the Xiaomi 14T Pro is hard to beat. And then I told you we had something special at the end. Xiaomi has released the new Buds 5 alongside the 14T Pro, and they're a perfect match. These buds retail for around £99 or €99, so they're also towards the lower end of the market. The case design is pretty stylish and I love the two-tone metal finish. I'm getting major titanium vibes from the bottom half, although this frame is definitely a fingerprint magnet up top. I've only given these buds a quick listen so far, and they're about what you'd expect from a £99 pair of headphones. The sound is pretty inoffensive, but they lack any real punch. If you're interested in a full review on Buds 5, leave a comment on this video and stay